What if I told you there's a movie that tricks you into thinking it's the next Whiplash, only to reveal it's actually about a complete degenerate learning gratitude after ruining his own life? So imagine this, you see the trailers for this movie, all dramatic and emotional, and the marketing is aggressive. He stood on top of the Vegasphere and did a music video with SD Kid. It seems to be about a young prodigy trying to become one of the greats. Naturally, because I love Whiplash, I thought, okay cool, another story about relentless ambition and the cost it brings. That should be fun. And for the first hour,
greatness, pursuit of greatness, pursuit of greatness, greatness.
I genuinely thought this movie was terrible. Not because it was boring, because every single person in the story is completely tapped. And the main character Marty, unlikable, reckless, selfish, hypocritical, and somehow still arrogant enough to think he's destined for greatness. So the entire time I'm watching, I'm asking, is this movie secretly about wasted talent? Is Marty supposed to fail, or is the film glorifying a loser? But then the ending happened, and somehow it redeemed a lot of the movie. This video is basically me walking through the exact emotional roller coaster this movie put me through, because I went from this is the most tapped story ever to wait, this actually has something meaningful to say. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because I think a lot of people are going to misunderstand this movie the same way I did. If you go in expecting another Whiplash, you're probably going to hate it. But if you understand what the movie is actually about, it becomes way more interesting. So instead of doing a normal review, I want to break this down into 3 stages. Why Marty is so unlikable, why the movie feels frustrating on purpose, why the ending completely changes the meaning of the story. The first thing this movie does is trick you into thinking Marty is going to become one of the greats. Yeah, no he won't. From the very beginning, Marty doesn't even resemble someone chasing greatness. He's talented, sure, but hardworking? Hell no. This guy spends more time making out with married women, gambling with money he doesn't own, scamming people, acting salty after losing than actually training. And that's what confused me, because in Whiplash, you feel the obsession. Every drum hit feels painful, every zoomed in expression, the blood, the sweat, the intensity. But here, Marty just grunts a bit during matches and we're supposed to believe he's destined for greatness. Even when he loses, he instantly blames other people. When somebody else suggests joining the Globetrotters, he mocks them for it and then joins them himself later anyway.
Do that line again.
And the adulterous stuff made him even harder to root for. Not once, twice. At that point, I genuinely thought, okay, this movie has to be about wasted talent, because there's no way this guy deserves success. That's when I realized the movie wasn't building a future legend, it was building somebody spiritually empty. And this is where the movie almost lost me completely, because the deeper the story goes, the more degenerate everyone becomes. Rachel scams people, Marty scams people, the gambling stuff becomes ridiculous, they're running around with money that isn't even theirs. Then there's the dog situation, the gun, the random criminals. At one point I was thinking, what's this movie even about? But weirdly, the gun subplot ended up being the best parts, because suddenly the movie had consequences. Up until then, Marty kept floating through life, escaping punishment, but eventually reality starts catching him. He gets humiliated, beaten down, completely isolated, and honestly, it's deserved. That pig scene especially was rough because it finally showed the truth. Marty has nobody, no greatness, no meaningful relationships, no direction, just ego. And that's the point where the movie finally clicks for me. This wasn't a power fantasy, it was watching somebody slowly realize their own emptiness. But then the movie does something I genuinely didn't expect. It gives Marty humanity. At first, I was actually annoyed he started winning again near the end, because thematically it felt wrong. But then I realized the victory itself wasn't the point. The point was that Marty had finally changed internally. For the first time in the entire movie, he stops thinking purely about himself. Even with Rachel, he starts acting differently, less selfish, less childish. And then the final scene with his child completely reframed the story for me. That moment where he's crying while looking at his kid, that was the first truly sincere emotion in the entire film. It felt like pride, fear, regret, gratitude, all at the same time. Like he finally understood life after wasting so much of it. And that's why the ending redeemed the movie for me, because it's not about becoming the greatest, it's about somebody horrible slowly learning gratitude after hitting emotional rock bottom. So yeah, I still don't think this movie is anywhere near Whiplash. For me, Whiplash is about what does ambition cost. This movie is more what happens when talent exists without discipline, gratitude, or purpose. And honestly, I guess it's still interesting. 6 out of 10.
I gave it 6.
Yeah, it's a 6 out of 10.